I'm making this from scraps. Isn't it cute? I just need one more piece to go on this side. I know I have it in here. Orange ghosts. More orange ghosts. Not big enough, wrong orange. Too much pink. I know I have it. I saw it because I got these out of this. Oh my gosh. I need some help. I've got to get these scraps organized. Hi, I'm Di with Sister Chicks Quilting, and I sew a ton of scrappy, and I'm going to turn all of these scraps into an organization method that works for me, for my tiny little sewing room. Why don't you join me? And I bet you'll learn something or maybe get some inspiration along my way. This is it. This is the solution to the final organization of my fabric in my tiny sewing room, and I am going to share it with you. It's a 99-cent Sterilite shoebox. Pretty cool, right? Let me show you the magic I worked with it. I have been busy, and my pile is growing, isn't it? Let me show you what I have. This is my bag that I make scrappy strips from. I'm going to keep it probably just like this. Now, as I was sorting through these, I had pieces that fit in the scrappy strip. I really, it's a tongue twister, guys. But I have a lot of pieces that fit in the scrappy strip pile. And I'm just going to take them and shove them in. I may keep these bags in my scrap drawer where I have my batiks. For now, that's where that's going. I also had in there this bag of Halloween. For now, I'm just going to keep it Halloween. It's all Halloween fabric. And who knows, maybe I'll take it and split it and put it in something someday. But for now, it works to keep it as Halloween. I do have a lot of Halloween fabric. I like to keep that separate. So that is that. I ran across something. Well, by the way, this is my low volume box right here. I'm going to put this in it. I wanted to show you this. What is the main color you see on this fabric? Squint your eyes and look at it. Yes, the red is very strong, but I have decided to put this with my green. If I decide I want red, I'll cut the red out of it. But for now, this is going in my green box, which is right here. Everything is nice and green in that one. And this is my pink box. I had to add a pink box. So I have orange, purple, yellow, blue, green, white, and pink. And on the chair over here, I have red and black. I need another box because I have browns and tans. And yeah, I'll need those. I have the room for it. I just have the boxes filled with other stuff right now. So what I'm going to have to do is go through an individual box and decide where everything in that box goes. I also decided that I might need a novelty pile or a box just with novelty fabric. I do a lot of novelties. I have behind you, I have a big stack of novelty 5-inch squares, which you're going to see a video soon of a I Spy quilt. It's going to be phenomenal. I'm probably going to put, well, I'll pull some of these into the novelty. You know what I have? Ian, the off-kilter crafter, sent this to me. He knows I love Halloween. I'm going to put this in my Halloween scrap bag. So that is together with that. But I wanted to go over some of these smaller pieces with you. The popsicles, definitely go in the novelty pile. I have a ton of it's a Sweet Tea by Sweetwater, I believe. I'm going to put it in this pile over here on the floor. A bunch of blocks left over from making other quilts. I'm probably going to put all of my Orphan blocks. I'll iron them, package them up nice, and they're going to go to someone out there who wants to play with Orphan blocks. Take a look at this piece. Part low volume, part a little bit of everything. I'm going to put this in my scrappy strip bag. Oh, and then this is interesting. I have these little pieces that are this big. You can't even get a 2.5-inch square from them. I am cutting them up. I'm going to make 2-inch blocks using my 2-inch trim lock that I bought from So Be It Quilts. Here I go. I'm going to line this up. I really love this ruler. I love hers. They're some of the best I've ever had. This is a little pile that I have made with 2-inch squares. I'm going to put this in that box where I'm collecting these 2-inch squares. Then looking at this, you know what I'm going to do with these black pieces? That was the garbage can. I can't keep everything. And these pieces are not wide enough this way to fit in my scrappy strip bag. So I'm putting those in the trash bin. But this one is wide enough and will look perfect in the scrappy strip. So there's some more scrappy strip. Sadly, this piece, trash can. I can't keep everything. Okay, this is leftover from a, I'm just gonna put this in my black box. There we go. You saw how I dealt with a lot of those. Here's something else I have to deal with. Look at my blue bin. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go through this. I'm gonna clean all these up, put a lid on them, and I'm going to sort this into aqua and blue. So I will have 2 more bins out of this. And I have 4 bins to go through, and I think I'm going to speed up the camera and really rip through those fast. Have you noticed the shirt I'm wearing? It says Quilted Buffalo with the adorable Quilted Buffalo right here. Let me tell you where I got it. How many of you have been to Custer, South Dakota? It is just below Mount Rushmore. Blue Block and I and our husbands recently went on a trip to see Mount Rushmore and the sights around it. And we fell in love with Custer and Custer State Park. I highly recommend it. We had just spent the day driving through Custer State Park in a convertible Jeep, and our hair was a mess. I mean, going every which way. We looked like crap. But we didn't feel like crap. We were having so much fun. We found a quilt shop called the Quilted Buffalo. So we stopped and walked in, and when we walked in, there was this little bit of a squeal from the gal behind the counter. Her name was Chris Hughes. She is so cute. Here's a picture of Chris with Blue Block and I. We went into the store, and I believe she's the manager of the store. If not, she sure knew the store. Anyway, it was a lot of fun. And they have a really great selection of fabric. They had a pile of shirts. I quickly purchased one because I love the color. Isn't this raspberry just gorgeous? Chris showed me a few things. I told her I wanted to get something as a memento from Custer. And of course, it's got to be something to do with quilting. She said, well, I've written this pattern that we're selling, Dakota Rose. And she held up the pattern, and I just thought, I I just wasn't feeling the love, right? However, in walking around the shop, there was a quilt made out of it. What have I always told you? It's the fabric that makes the quilt. And there was a quilt that was absolutely beautiful, made with this pattern. And this is designed by Chris herself. It was the most beautiful quilt. I thought, oh, I'm getting that pattern. Something else they had in the shop was this fun paper piecing pattern called the geometric bison block. See these colors on the back? They had one done up in those colors, and I thought, oh, those are really cool. I thought those colors were really cool, and however, I was looking at the pile of batiks, and I got some batiks that I could do something like this with. And this is so funny, because now that I think about it, I think I want to do it with these colors. I love, love, love them. It seems to me they're more me. Did you guys just hear the engineer go, when I said love, love, love? He's just next door, and he hates that. You viewers need to check out that store. It was the most fun store, had lots and lots of fabric, ideas, patterns. I think there was even yarn, as I recall. And it was a pretty happening store. There were quite a few people in there. It's quiltedbuffalo.com. Again, quiltedbuffalo.com. And I'll put the link in the video down below. I just wanted to share that with you. And thank you to Chris for being such a good hostess in her store. She was great to work with. And yes, Blue Block and I spent plenty of money, no matter how bad we looked. So if you're there, check it out or go online. Back to my organization now. Now I have put off finishing the organization of my scraps long enough. Let's get to it. This is where I am, and I'm going to show you what I've done so far because it is incredible. It just makes me happy to look at it. But I had so much more than just my colors of little scraps. For instance, as I was going through the boxes, I was finding 2.5-inch strips. You know how I feel about 2.5-inch strips. I love them. I also have some white 2.5-inch strips, which I don't know, causes me to think, do I want to keep white ones or should I put them in my scraps? And I'm debating that. For now, I'm going to put them in my 2.5-inch strip bin. Take a look at this bin. It is full from the top to the bottom, and they are packed in there, believe you me. They're not really set by color. They're set by when I cut them. So I cut a bunch of pinks all at once, and so I have all of these pinks and fun ones. But I have this bin that is not quite full, so I'm going to keep these in here. And you know, some of these 2.5-inch strips I think are ugly, but I'm gonna keep them anyway. You never know what is going to go. So there is that bin ready to go, and I'm setting them here so I can put them up on my top shelf. Something else that came up were all of my colored fabrics. For instance, where does this go? And I squinted and read, I squinted and looked at it, and I still think it goes in the white bin. And I also couldn't figure out where this went. I put it in the orange bin and it looked like a fish out of water. And then I put it in the black bin and it looked like another fish out of water. So that's still waiting for a decision. There's quite a bit of this. And you know, I have this in blue also. It looked beautiful in the blue bin. Here's a scrap that I definitely want to keep. Remember this from the backing of my granddaughter's quilt? I kind of think I'm going to put this in the pinks. You know, there's plenty of pinks in it. That one's probably going to go in the pinks. I wanted to show you this. I did not know what to do with all of my novelty prints, and I have a lot of novelty prints. Most of my novelty prints, when I get them, I process them into a 5-inch square, several of them, because I've got about 18 inches, a stack 18 inches tall of 5-inch strips or 5-inch squares that are all novelty prints, and they're for I Spy. So I stack them in that, and then I put the rest of the piece that I buy, like this piece here with rockets on it. I think it's so cute. And I put the rest of it in my strips, my 2.5-inch strips. So I decided I needed a novelty bin. That's what this is. This is all novelty scrap. These are ones that have to be processed yet, and the rest of them, there'll be scraps to go in here. So I will use these in all of my, you know, and I love novelty prints in my scrappy strip quilts because they're just fun. But there's a lot of quilts that I'm not going to use them in. So I am going to keep my novelties separate. I also feel like I need to come up with a label on each one of these bins. Here's something else I've done. I've already put a bunch of them away. I'm making a quilt, and it takes a 1.5-inch square. Oh no, I'm sorry, it takes a 2-inch square. I've cut all of these little 2-inch squares. I can use them there. And what I make are little 4 patches. I think I showed it to you earlier. Also, what I save are 2.5-inch squares. And I wanted to show you, this is all different kinds of fabric, but mostly it's this fabric. This was a piece that I got in a flat fold sale. Take a look at it. It's a Lori Holt piece, and it's cute fabric. I pressed it all together. I mean, who wants to give up a cute 2.5-inch square, right? So I pressed it together on the folds, and I am going to process this with my 2.5-inch trim lock. If you don't have these trim lock rulers, the ladies that have them love them. And so many of you have supported Fallon over at So Be It Quilts. You can go to sobeitquilts.com and pick up your own trim lock set. They sure make trimming easy, as you can see. I'm going to put these away where I keep my 2.5-inch squares. You would not believe it, but when I started this project, my room was clean. I got the mess out, and then it was just like overwhelming, and I just sat down off camera and powered through piles of fabric, sorting them into colors or putting them in cut piles. I'm also looking up at my shelves, and I have yardage put up there that I didn't know I had. I had forgotten about it because I couldn't see it. Well, here's the deal. Now I can see it, and I'm so happy because it inspires me. I can say, boy, that piece is just so great. It would look good here, or it's on my mind. When I open the door and look in my cupboard, all of those colors are on my mind too. And oh, they're already sorted by color. It just is so logical. I think I'm going to be more effective as a quilter because of my organization. As you can imagine, I had fabric stuffed everywhere. I did a lot of cleaning out. One of the bins I cleaned out had a pile of Orphan blocks. Let me show you these blocks. What am I going to do with it all? Do you want it? I am going to send it to the person I'm going to go ahead and ship it for free in the US. If you're overseas, I'm going to ask you to pick up the shipping. But this is the pile of blocks. And you know, if you don't want to use the blocks, use them in your scraps. There's big enough pieces in here that you can just cut them up and use them in your scraps. All right? So there's that. Thanks for the idea on that, Maureen from the Opinionated Quilter. I kind of feel like her right now. Isn't that fun? Hi, I'm Di with Sister Chicks Quilting, but you already know that, don't you? I'm here with Jennifer, and she did an amazing quilt that you are all going to remember. It was in the Emma Quilt Show, and it was called 8,000 Pieces. And Jennifer, we're going to put a picture of your quilt in right here so people remember the quilt. But would you tell us about it? And I want you to talk loud so we can hear you because it's kind of noisy.
I made a paper piece quilt. It was made on tissue paper. It was a log cabin. The diamond log cabin.
It was the diamond log cabin. Now, I have a question about piecing with tissue paper. Was it easy to pull off, or?
I did pull it off. It's all back. It's still in there.
Did you guys hear that? This quilt, that's why she could make it so perfect. So the quilt is full of the tissue paper still. And eventually, I imagine, won't it just kind of disintegrate when you wash it?
I think so. The first place where I took it to be quilted, they didn't want to quilt it. They told me I had to take the tissue paper out.
What a bunch of panty waste. I hope you found another long arm quilter.
Another lady there said she would do it.
Oh, good.
I was not going to pull out 8,000 little pieces of tissue paper. So
can you imagine 8,000 pieces of
But it was made over 10 years in between other projects. Once I got tired of it, I put it away and pulled it back out. So it wasn't a straight project.
And then I saw it again at the state fair, and I think it got a blue ribbon, right? It should have gotten Best of Show because that is a boatload of work and a lot of work. So Jennifer and I, by the way, are at the Boise Basin Quilt Show with the quilters, and I just wanted to share this with you. Jennifer, you did an amazing job on that quilt, and it took you, again, 10 years to do. So be kind to yourselves. Quilts take time.
No rush. You don't have to be patient. Just put it away, pull it back out again later.
Oh, I thought it was great. Thank you for saying hi. I really appreciate it, Jennifer. And you guys, you're welcome, and you guys enjoy this quilt. I want to let you know what I decided to do with my red, white, and blue shoebox. I love QOV quilts. I love red, white, and blue quilts. I decided to keep it all together. But I had a bunch of fabric shoved in the closet next to the bin, and that wasn't working. So I'm going to show this to you up front. By the way, the engineer made labels for all of my shoe boxes, and I'll give you a look-see in a minute. But here I have a shoebox of red, white, and blue scraps. And I don't know if I'm going to keep them or put them into the respective bins, but for now, I've just decided to go red, white, and blue. Then there were the piles of fabric. I put them all on cards. This is 3 yards. This is over half of a yard. Look at all of this red, white, and blue fabric. And I put it on my cards, and it is going on the shelf behind me so I can see it and use it, because it was, again, stuffed away and I wasn't using it. And that just doesn't work. And then I have my fat quarter baskets. This is a fat quarter, or just over a fat quarter. There's a few of these that are yards. And I folded these up, and I'm putting them in the baskets that they go with. These are blue, of course. Here's some more red fat quarters. The thing is, I actually have an awful lot of blue fabrics. My fat quarter bin is kind of full. But you know what? I can squeeze more in there, and that's what I'm going to do. But I also am planning on doing a blue quilt. Wouldn't that be cool? Just all blue. Okay. There we go. And let's see if I can get this last one in here. Okay. this box might burst at the seams. Who knows? Oh, look at that. It's in. Oh, no, one more. I'm going to cheat and stick it down on the side. So I've got my fat quarter baskets full, and before they weren't. So I'm really excited about that. Oh no. Oh, this one I'm going to put in the, what am I going to put this one in? I have one that's mostly a lot of lights and whites, and that will probably go there. And this one, of course, will go in the reds. But just so you know, when I put them in my fat quarter bin, I like to fold them. So, you know what? This is really not a fat quarter. This is a yard. So I am going to go ahead and put this on a card. And then I'm going to file all of these away. And my closet is clean. Now there is hidden behind one of the shoe boxes a fat quarter bundle of red, white, and blue. I don't quite know what I'm doing with all of my fat quarter bundles. I'm looking at them because they're on a shelf, and I may just change that about. That is something that's going to come a little bit later in my organization, or in my fabric organization. But I think it's time that we take a look inside the closet so you can see my marvelous new closet. And by the way, it works. Do you know what I mean by that? Oh my goodness. I was cutting out some blocks for a project coming up, and I thought, a yellow would look really good. I was able to go to one bin, pull it down, flip through. I found it that fast, cut that block off, and boom, put the box back. I think I'm going to love my new organization because I can see my fabric, I can get at my fabric, and it's going to make me more efficient. And I am going to go on a fabric buying diet for at least 6 months. I do have some trips planned. I'm not going to buy any fabric. We've talked about going to quilt shops. I'll do it for research or something else, but I promise you, cross my heart, hope to die, I'm not going to buy any fabric for 6 months. And it is the 1st of October. So October, November, March, April. So I can't buy fabric until April, which I think is not going to be bad. I can see what I have, and I'm going to use what I have. Okay? I'm not going to get dramatic. I am just going to go up and show you how I have labeled every bin. And look, I even have a novelty bin. And there, of course, is my red, white, and blue. Up here, 2.5-inch strips. I save a lot of 2.5-inch strips, and I do use them. I've got a low volume bin and a blue bin. Remember I told you I had a lot of blue? And then down here on this shelf, I have my scrappy strips. So that's quite an organized bin. As soon as I make a strip, I press it, it goes in here, and I can cross it into a block. I'm actually working on block number 3, which is going to use all of that aqua fabric in there. So if you remember that video, that's going to be fun. But it's such a pleasure to come and just sew and work with my scraps. I love working with scraps. There I've got brown, white, gray, and black. Now this is the only bin that is out of order. It's all low volume, and it's 7-inch, 5-inch, 3.5-inch strips. This was all that Lori Holt that I told you about that I bought up and cut. It's not really Lori Holt fabric. It was for that Lori Holt class I took, and I just haven't gotten to that bin. It's probably going to make it up on top. Michelle walked into my room today, and I said, by the way, have you seen what I've done? She just died. Wow. She said, that is so cool, Mom. I told you I would show you this. This is a major part of my fabric storage. I have these two top shelves and this one with bolts, and this one is probably going to be bolts. But as you can see right now, it's where I stack a lot of fat quarters. And this is a quilt in progress that I haven't started. This is yardage to go with this. It's kind of crazy, isn't it? This is all fabric that I've collected or been given. I have pieces of fabric up above here that were stuffed in that closet that I never saw. And I am actually going to be using this Heather Ross one day soon because I keep thinking about it all the time, and that's how it works. One thing that I don't know if I've showed you or not, see that stack of 5-inch squares? This whole stack, this side is all I Spy, and this one is just kind of plain colors or blenders. So that's kind of fun. Look for a video soon. Down here I have more fabric on boards as well, and it is all batik or some really crazy novelty or something that I can't really fit anyplace else. I'm going to fold up this last piece of fabric. I secure these ends with pins, with just glass-headed pins. Several of you have said, oh, that they're going to rust and ruin your fabric. Well, guess what? I live in Idaho and it is dry. It is very dry. Never had that problem here. I can see how you would have it in a high humidity area, but we don't have that problem. So I continue to use the pins. I have to tell you, this has been such a cathartic experience. I have absolutely loved putting together my fabric in an organized fashion, including my scraps that I can use it in, because it was getting out of control. I hope you're not looking over here because in this whole process, I haven't decided what I'm going to do with these 10 fat quarters and matching yardage. It's a quilt. It's a little girl's quilt. Or there's a bunch of fabric that I bought on my trip. So I haven't decided what I'm going to do with all of this yet. This is the culprit right here. And for too long, it was too easy to shove things in and shut the door. Since I've taken the time to organize these scraps by color, I've moved them from 4 different places in my sewing room. And really, my sewing room is so small, I don't have room to have 4 places full of scraps. It was just so, but they're right here. Just the other day, I was sewing a scrappy block or 2 up, and I thought, oh, that would look so cute with some yellow. And I went right to my cupboard, pulled down my yellow bin, found the yellow that I thought would work, and finished the block. I loved it. And then when I was done, I put it up. 99 cents, guys. 99-cent shoeboxes. Do what works for you. Of course, on this side, I have the containers from the Container Store. But you know why I spent the money on those? Because number 1, they go all the way to the back. Number 2, they show through my glass cupboards. And I wanted something nice, and you can see them. So do what works for you. But I love my 99-cent shoeboxes. They certainly work for me. You know what? There's something else that works for me, and that is retreats. I love retreats. And if you want to join myself, Tracy, and April at the 3 Quilt Amigas retreat, you simply need to go to our website, 3quiltamigas.com. And that's the number 3, quiltamigas.com. Pick up your ticket. It is next April the 28th through May 2nd in Hamilton, Missouri. I sure hope I see you there. We have fun. Oh, and of course we're going to be giving away fantastic prizes. And a fantastic grand prize. So bring one, bring all, bring your friends, bring your guild members, bring your family, and join me, Tracy and April, next April and May at the 3 Quiltamigas. You know what I'm going to do for the rest of the day? I'm going to sew using scraps just because it's so rewarding to have them all together. I hope you have been inspired to do something with your scraps and organize them in a way that works for you. And I'll see you probably in a week. I really mean it this time, you guys. Sorry, I had a little bit of sickness going on, but I'm back. So, till then, bye. Thanks for watching. I sure appreciate you. I appreciate you subscribing and giving me thumbs up. You guys are the best. Bye.